What ruined your Christmas? My dad's anger issues and mum forcing us to pretend nothing is happening. OMG, I feel this so much. My parents do this all the time. My dad would lash out, and my mum would expect us to be soft-spoken like her. The next day they'll both act like nothing happened and do nice things like cook us food, buy groceries, etc. I guess in an attempt to sweep everything under the rug. Like he didn't say hurtful things. Next thing you know, my mum would make me feel guilty about not talking to my dad for a whole month. Because nothing was resolved in the first place. My mother passed unexpectedly a few hours ago. Was in rehab for a minor stroke and broken leg. We suspect it was another stroke. Edit. Thank you all for the kind words and support. I'm sorry to hear this. May your mum rest in peace. My mum started crying and causing drama because my sisters didn't stay up until midnight on Christmas Eve to celebrate Christmas early. She decided not to show up for breakfast and gift exchanges this morning and instead messaged us all morning saying no one loves her or cares about her. I love being guilt-tripped. My mother-in-law used to pull that shit. Then one Christmas morning she called to do her spiel. And got you're right. We don't care. Don't expect to be invited next year. Christmas was awesome for years to come. Pretty sure I got food poisoning last night at dinner, so I spent all night in the bathroom with horrible stomach cramps all day today. Hugs. My mother's drinking. Edit. Thanks for the awards and kind words messages. It hurts my heart to see how many people relate. Just know you all aren't alone. My sister's boss told her they were only open until 5. But they're actually open until 10 and she won't let my sister leave. Surprise 10-hour shift, so now my mom's watching a World War II documentary and I'm on Reddit lol. Merry Christmas. This is the point where she should just walk out. A boss shouldn't do that to people. So sorry this happened to her. My grandmother berating my sister and I, in front of our whole family, for not calling her on Christmas, while we were FaceTiming her. My grandma has dementia. The last Mother's Day before it got really bad and she needed to move to a nursing home. She downed a heap of vodka. By the time I called her in the afternoon to wish her happy Mother's Day, she was really annoyed at me because her gardener had called her first. Props to the gardener though. That guy would have had customers for the rest of their lives. I got paged, on-call engineer, as the family was getting ready to eat our Christmas dinner. Later, I microwaved my plate and ate on my own before going back to my laptop. Ruined is a strong word, but I'm bitter about it. Did you get paid like triple time though? I was reaching for a puzzle piece when something in my body decided to fuck right off. And now I've got immense shoulder neck back pain. I keep trying to stretch it gently and move it as much as I can. But I'm pretty out of commission. A damn puzzle piece. My parents are dead. I am only 41. But lost my last parent in 2021. My boyfriend doesn't celebrate. Or really care. His grandma, more mama she raised him, died a couple years back. We are a new place with no friends or family. I don't have kids, twice widowed. It complicated. He never had kids either. My only real living relative is my sister. She lives 2 states away. We couldn't visit due to a COVID scare. The present she bought me, only present I was getting, got pilfered by porch pirates. I ordered Chinese food. My order was cancelled 5 minutes before arrival. Hug. My mum told us she has cancer and it's quite bad. My mum told me my dad is staring at prostate cancer and we're waiting for the biopsy. His prostate is huge compared to normal sized ones. Has him looking up web, so he's talking about making memories. Makes my mum nervous, so it's got me a little shaken. We'll get official news within the week, but not soon enough to ease my heart. Good luck, stranger. May the odds be ever in your favor. Edit. Thank you, everyone who have offered their sincere thoughts and good wishes. I feel a little better with all the positive outcomes that other people have had. Again, thanks people. It's helped. My sister-in-law has been verbally berating her children all day. They're kids. It's Christmas. They're supposed to be hyper and excited. My sister-in-law exploded today when she saw we brought mac and cheese. Apparently she stayed up all night also making mac and cheese, so ours was a direct insult to her. When we called her out that her attitude was inappropriate, she got even madder that we would say that in front of her kids. So we left. Even left them all the food we brought. She's always had anger issues, but this was just the last straw. My mum brought up the diary I kept as a teenager years ago. The diary had detailed plans about me offing myself. She brought it up legit an hour ago in front of everyone, smiling face with tear. Have spent the last 2 hours in my room crying and feeling all sorts of emotions. I'm 25 now, but damn, I feel all the feelings I left at the time and I don't know how to feel. Whoa. Why would she do that? That's awful. I'm sorry. My sister stormed out an hour before the food was ready because she believed we were talking shit about her or threatening her or something. She's schizophrenic. None of that was happening. There's no way to convince her it's not true. Edit. Wow. I wrote this just before I went to bed. There's too many of you to reply to as I have to leave for work. I just want to say thank you guys for the thoughtful words. It's nice to not feel so alone. Thanks for the hugs. Also, update. My mum got a notification that my sister ended up in the psych ward last night. It was her own choice. So hopefully they can get her some meds and hopefully she'll take them this time. My son passed away in October due to suicide. He was 20. I miss him terribly. Disappointed face. I'm so sorry. May his memory be a blessing. My grandma fed my dog, who has serious digestion and other health problems, 5 Christmas cookies. And he not only shat and vomited all over the house, but had to go to the vet. Ugh. I hate this. My father-in-law basically killed his own dog by massively overfeeding him table scraps and shit. And then when my sister-in-law brings her dog over to visit, he's always trying to drop him food and he's like, oh, just a little won't hurt him. I didn't give him that much. He'll be fine. On like the 4th or 5th feeding. You know. Fucking just respect the owner's instructions. It's not hard. My mum slipped on a patch of ice on her way into my house for breakfast and gifts this morning. She insisted she was fine. But after a few hours she could barely walk. Her foot is broken and may require surgery. So it looks like we'll be spending my birthday tomorrow in their hotel room. My Christmas wasn't ruined. But I feel awful that hers and my dad's basically was. Edit. Shout out to all my fellow the 26th of December birthday people. Happy birthday to us. Today is my 30th birthday. And it was already giving me feelings even without all this extra stuff. I'm just glad I was there to fall with her and protect her head from hitting the concrete. The bruised elbow was worth it. I'll pass along your well wishes to my mother. Girlfriend shaming me for taking a half day off work on Christmas Eve to see my family. Woke up to her making snide comments about how it must be nice to sleep in a bit. Then told me to run home to mommy. This was all unprovoked while I was laying in bed. Not as bad as a lot of stories here, but it's put a damper on the whole holidays. You misspelled ex-girlfriend. Certainly not as awful as most stories here. But my son's pet frog died. He's 10 and he adored that frog. Poor kid was so sad. My dog passed away early Christmas morning. She had been sick for a couple weeks, so I knew it was coming, but it still fucking sucks. And she died on Christmas of all days. She was such a nice dog. And now she's gone forever. Rip Daisy. Christmas dinner. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing. But I've been on the toilet for 25 minutes now, absolute destroying it and maybe even the wildlife around my house. I need help. The real Christmas magic was inside you all along. Divorce. First Christmas separated. I was able to spend a few hours with my kids and my parents, siblings, etc. But when the kids became bored and were tearing up asking to go home, I broke down. I got them back with their mum, safe and sound, and cried for the next hour and a half. My Christmas wasn't nearly as bad as many here, but I was still surprised at how much heartache I felt today. Edit. You all are just awesome. Thank you for the thoughts and comments and awards. Today is a little better, but I'm also trying to stay grounded. Husband is a recovering alcoholic and last night on Christmas Eve he relapsed following 1 year sober. I don't want to go through all that hell again, and I'm 8 months pregnant with no job and 1,000 miles from home. I seriously don't know what to do. I think I'm doomed. I'm so sorry to hear that. But as someone who is also in recovery, I will say as long as he still wants to commit to a life of sobriety, his relapse doesn't mean anything more than a small setback, as long as he didn't do much damage last night. And as someone who has also relapsed, the recovery process gets easier each time. Again, this is all assuming he still wishes to be sober. If he's given up though, then I feel for you. You should not have to deal with that and I am so sorry. I wish you the best. My sister-in-law dying in a car crash. Fuck, this is terrible. I'm so sorry. I hope you have some love and support. Being on a Greyhound bus for 13 fucking hours. Currently out 12 of the train for me and still at least 5 more hours. Hope your butt is okay. Being called selfish for having a migraine and ruining the festivities. And then getting socks, underwear, some pillows and random chocolate my mum and sister split the cost of because money was tight. While seeing my sister get JBL Bluetooth headphones, a JBL speaker and a JBL clip-on speaker my mum single-handedly bought her. But most of all, a migraine. Those ruin any day. Good grief. Reminds me of my ex. One year for Christmas his wealthy grandma bought his sister a house. And his brother a car. She bought him a box of chocolates. He's diabetic. She knows this. My baby was stillborn at the beginning of December. I'm too heartbroken for Christmas cheer. Thank you everyone so much for your wonderful thoughts and words. I made sure everyone had a good Christmas. Then I spent the evening crying in my room. This means a lot. Cause sometime I feel my sadness is a burden on others around me. I try to hide it. So not to bring everyone else down. But I feel sad 24 hours a day honestly. Thank you again everyone. You guys have no idea how much this means to me. I'm too heartbroken for Christmas cheer. That's perfectly fine. Let the healing process go on its own pace. You didn't ruin anything. COVID. I can't smell or taste anything so food sucked and I couldn't spend time with my family properly. COVID got me too. With a side dish of shingles. Having to hang out with my brother all day. I love the guy. But holy fuck he never shuts up. Ever. At all. I've got 3 years on him and I'm certain he has flown past me in words spoken in our lifetime. It's exhausting. And whenever I act disinterested or just politely end the conversation, I'm the asshole. Are you my sis? We have the same brother. Voice is a monotonous drone that never stops. About literally any subject, especially the ones he obviously has no clue what he's saying. Ugh. I unexpectedly and suddenly became a widow 30 days ago, leaving me with our special needs 5-year daughter and I'm currently 24W pregnant. He went to bed and didn't wake up. Never. Ever dreamed I'd be a widow at 39 after 13 years together. 5 years married. No stars out of 5. Do not recommend. I'm sorry. Found out today my wife of 10 years is cheating on me. Edit. Thank you all for all your kind words and support. Honestly it makes me feel good to see support from people who don't even know me or have to say anything. I love you all very much. I don't really celebrate it, but this is my first Christmas so alone. I always spent Christmas Day flying out to my grandmother, but she just died. I am in New York City and on semi-lockdown. Also my half and half for coffee turned prematurely and I can't get more tilty MRW. My mum told me I wasn't welcome at Christmas dinner. So I stayed home and got drunk and cried all night. We celebrate on the 24th and my family spent all of the 25th guilt tripping me for not showing up and telling me how my mum had hoped I would still show all night. So yeah, I am the bad guy no matter what. Proceeded to get drunk on the 25th as well. Fuck family. That is the most manipulative, unnecessarily cruel bullshit 4D chess power play that I have ever heard of. I am so sorry your family plays games with you like that. That is a truly horrible thing to do to a family member, let alone a daughter-son. My mill pining over her grandchildren she can't be with. I've had 3 miscarriages this year. No kids. 4 years of IVF. We are talking about quitting and living child-free. It has been the hardest Christmas. I hope the new year brings you joy, no matter how things turn out. My grandma asked if I was pregnant because my stomach I guess was sticking out a little. Didn't appreciate that one. My granny always goes this, usually with a hand on my belly. She's 91 and an angel. I just say, nope, ma'am, or just need to poop. She then tells me how great I look with some weight on me. I hug her anyway. My depression. Edit. Thank you for all of the upvotes. I've been dealing with my depression for 13 years and have been suicidal about a dozen times. Not attempted but wanting for death. And the thing I know that helps with all of it is connection. And I wish I could connect with all of you that are struggling and hurting. Honestly if I could Zoom call everyone hurting, I would. If anyone wants to talk please DM me. I hope for strength for everyone in the new year. Family members testing positive after we had already spent time together. I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the news for a lot of people for the next 48 hours. My ex was married 20 years, had 1 daughter. Have been divorced for 5. Yesterday she asked to come back home. I had to force myself to say no. It was hard and made me sad thinking we could have been together if she hadn't made the decisions she did 5 years ago. Good for you to say no. You're probably better off. But no doubt that was difficult. Husband tested positive for COVID. Again. We did this last year. Same week. Not a tradition I want to maintain. It's frustrating and lonely. I have to work. So we are living on 2 different floors of the house. 102-degree fever. But COVID negative. Wife wants a divorce and moved out. Parents on a cruise. Up till 2 AM Christmas Eve staring at my reflection in my iPad eating a block of cheese. I haven't cared about Christmas since I was a kid. So why does this suck so hard? For the first time in years. Nothing. My so and I got clean and sober over the past year. Have been rebuilding our lives. Working very hard. This year despite many small inconveniences and trials. We have ended Christmas more in love with each other. It's super weird but super good. My mother has the uncanny ability to make me more upset than anyone else in the world. I love her but she is so difficult and can ruin anything. Mums know all the buttons since they created most of them. Got into a fight with my wife. Same boat. I'm sitting outside on Reddit. Trying not to make it bigger than it is. Fights suck period, but on a holiday it's 10x worse it feels like. My plan is to give us each some space and try a game tomorrow. It's just a day honestly, and the pressure of it being Christmas does make it seem worse, but in all honesty that pressure is all exterior and what we have to work on is interior. I don't have an answer but I'm trying to work with something in that framework. I feel you, dude. Nothing really. It was momentarily ruined by my Mill and her victim complex, but we didn't give in. And we left soon after she started making her snarky comments. A mix of my period deciding it was going to start early with cramps from the 7th level of hell to my mother getting angry that Christmas Eve dinner was ruined because we didn't warm up the food 20 minutes before eating so we could make sure everything was on the table on time. A combination of COVID and myself. My dog puking and pooping all over the carpet early this morning. Not sure what happened to her tummy but the smell was awful. She's fine now. Mum breaking down about us being a broken family and having an hour-long conversation about why we aren't close like other families. Little does she know that every family has its issues. The thing is nobody ever talks about them. My family's horrible habit of eating and running back home. It bugs me that I and my husband spent all day cooking just for them to show up, eat and then leave within an hour. I even asked if we could not do that this year. They agreed but did it anyway. It hurts. Might be time to step away from that tradition. My impending divorce. My cousin announcing her pregnancy. She doesn't have a job. Bounces from couch to couch. And already has 6 kids that CPS already took from her. She had 3 abortions in high school and had 2 babies pass away only hours after birth because they was born prematurely and addicted to drugs. I might be a feminist but if anyone should be forced to get a tubal it's her. Ask her if she's figured out what's causing it yet. My mother being toxic, manipulative and becoming controlling again. I hear you. Mine started a fight and emotionally hurt 4/5 of our immediate family members, including myself over the last 72 hours. I haven't stopped crying since 6 PM. And it's 10 PM now. She's a 75-year-old obese chain smoker during a serious respiratory illness pandemic. This could be her last Christmas and she chose to be at war with her closest family through it. Came home from the military and seemed like my family had forgotten about me. Not that I needed presents or really even wanted them, but the fact that nobody even thought about something as simple as a card kind of hurts when I'm sitting here for an hour watching them pass presents around to each other and I got one for each of them as well. Just feels bad. My elderly grandmother eating potpourri thinking it was cookies. Loneliness. Threw my back out : Since my mother died I started spending holidays with a friend and his family, and even though I greatly appreciate it I can't help but feel sad. It's funny because the more they show their love for me the more it hurts. Someone called in sick at work and had to leave my family's lunch to cover for him. Edit. I understand the whole you shouldn't have to go with such a short notice and turn off your phone next time. The problem is not that easy for me to do that. I run this particular food service department while also being in charge of another 7 kitchens that are spread all over the Midwest. And it's my job to make sure everything runs smoothly. Leaving a kitchen without a cook and expecting to get the Christmas dinner done is like asking regular Walmart store employees to go to the auto service department start doing oil changes when they don't even know where their car battery is. I kinda feel you. My wife is a biolab tech in a big hospital, with many colleagues getting COVID in the past weeks and days. She's working non-stop from the 22nd to the 1st. Double shift tomorrow, except for a single day off on the 28th. We did our best to have a great Christmas with our kids, and in the circumstances, I believe we succeeded. But it's not awesome either. Now we hope to visit our parents in January, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lockdown happens before then. I guess we'll see. Fighting with my family and having a "you're not welcome over here" for the Christmas besides the usual being broke as fuck. Deleted. Being raised a Jehovah's Witness, leaving, and then being too broke from all the therapy to celebrate. Jehovah wins this time, but I'll get him next year. Isn't much compared to others, but definitely ruined it for me. I work at the fire department. This year my shift works Christmas and we were having a family dinner at the station. All the crew has their families over for a large meal. Well, it's my son's first official Christmas and I couldn't get the day off. My wife got all ready along with my son, and lost her car keys. She couldn't find them for about 3 hours. Then my wife that just lost her father, who was alone with my 1-year-old at home with no way to leave or anybody in town. And I felt trapped at the fire station, unable to do anything about it. Everyone arriving with their kids and families. And then there's me, wishing I had my family with me too. My job as a supermarket worker. I'm just gonna say I thought this was kind of a fun, quirky question. Shit got real here. I don't know if it helps or who needs to hear it, but I love you all and hope good things are on the horizon. COVID. Got positive today. Feels like shit. A fucking hemorrhoid that came out of nowhere. No straining. Nothing. Just showed up while I was in the shower yesterday. The fact that I can't stop missing my abusive ex. I just want to feel close to someone again. You are worth so much more than abuse. It's understandable you want to feel close to someone, and even that you miss someone you probably thought was your person even when they treated you horribly. Emotions are complicated and always valid. Just know you deserve so much better. Breakup. Still stuck living with her. Driving 10 hours. My daughter's death in August. She was 11 months old. My aunt trying to talk to me about how I don't go to church anymore and then bringing up my ex-wife and how our marriage wasn't done in a church. She left me in 2020. I tried to drink myself to death. Was having a great Christmas until that conversation. Managed to stop caring after I had a few glasses of wine. And I stopped drinking wine after a few glasses instead of drinking to blackout. Not perfect, but progress. Deleted. I've seen dementia Alzheimer's turn people's personalities 180 before. Like people who were once sweet are mean and vice versa. I usually tell people it's not really them and don't take what they say to heart. When they are already mean and get meaner, I'm not sure what one can say besides just let it roll off your back. Not ruined. Just soured because my sibling decided to eat both the roulades we had for dessert the night before. How does one human consume so much roulade? The one single thing I was looking forward to on the day, mayo. Luckily I had backup roulade in the freezer at mine, as I had already predicted their gluttonous villainy. Luckily I had backup roulade. Mayo dude going full spy versus spy. Grandma died. Close friend died of COVID today. Having to see my extended family. Boyfriend left me in the mountains during winter storm on Christmas Eve, and blocked me everywhere. I still can't believe that happened. Ibs. Tested positive for COVID. My throat is like sandpaper and my fever is off the charts. Basically missed Christmas and gonna miss New Year's. Of course the first time I get infected with COVID is this time of the year. Wife initiated. I showered and got ready. She called it off a few minutes in. It's whatever. It's a 2-player activity. Naked cuddling and talking ensued. Cool. Wife telling me she's no longer sexually attracted to me because she sees me as a father figure? Not cool. This is the ultimate hardship. For a few hours diarrhea. My bank charging me $12 because my checking account didn't have over $1,500 in it all month. Being charged a fee for being less than rich is truly stupid. Credit union time. My parents' cat. My sister and I got my parents a TV for Christmas. They wanted to know what the giant package under the tree was, so I told them it was a cat tree that had to be assembled. I swear the cat heard and understood me. She watched as my parents unwrapped their gift and let out a sad meow when she saw what it was. She then angrily watched us set it up and was definitely in a mood the rest of the day. You know you have to get her a cat tree now, right? My husband, I've been sick 3 days prior to Christmas and couldn't really help with much. He took it as I was being lazy and we haven't really talked since. I'm sick of it. I'd rather separate honestly. Ended up in the OR with severe food poisoning and couldn't keep anything in my stomach or colon and I was dehydrated. They gave me a lot of meds and antibiotics and I have to see my doctor if I don't get any better by Monday. Edit. Thank you for the comments. I haven't thrown up or pooped my guts out since I got up this morning, so I hope I'm doing better enough to eat more than broth for dinner today. My postpartum depression and anxiety, and the fact that I have no support system and am really fucking lonely. Spicy diarrhea. Terrible work text about a crisis I will have to deal with on Monday. Good luck, they could have waited till Monday. Having to put my dog down, just when I thought I couldn't hate Christmas anymore. Family member missing. Oh shit. For how long? COVID cancelled any Christmas and New Year's plans I had. My wife and I had an argument and now it looks like we're getting a divorce. I'm in the same boat. The past week has sucked. Broke my ankle. Boyfriend got COVID. Then to top it all off, my aunt died. Merry Christmas, downcast face with sweat. Being alone and having no one but reading these comments made me feel better about it, lol. My uncle was high on coke and also drunk. Was being aggressive to literally everyone in the room including family on FaceTime. Choked my sister out as a joke, who is also pregnant. It was not funny. He spilt soda all over her. Then left his son at the party to go to a strip club. It was mentally exhausting dealing with him. Avoid him like the plague. Why did nobody beat his ass for your sister? It didn't ruin this Christmas per se, but there's a theme I've learned. Family is overrated. I can't choose them, but I can choose who I spend my time with. If your blood family is toxic or incompatible with you, you are under no obligation to give them your time. Technically, we're all related if we go far enough back in time. So I travel during the holidays instead and am creating my own narcom of close friends whom have replaced blood relatives. I would never let something as silly as traditions rob me of my happiness. Life's too short for that tomfoolery. I try to only spend time with people I actually care about. Grandpa died this afternoon. Thinking of my grandma going to bed alone for the first time in 65 years hurts. My dad and his GF gave her adult kids $250 prepaid Visa cards and a whole bunch of nice clothes and shit, and gave me a $10 Tim Hortons gift card and a sweater vest. I thought I had a rough Christmas. This thread has humbled me. My husband dying last month. Fuck cancer. The progression of my mother's terminal pancreatic cancer from challenging but her being present to full on hepatic delirium right now. She'll likely, hopefully, pass today or in the next few days, but it doesn't make too much of a difference as she had to be deeply sedated. So her mind is already gone and the rest will follow soon. She fought hard to survive till Christmas Eve. This day is celebrated most in Germany, and make that day as pleasant as possible for us, which she managed to the best of her capabilities. But I saw the signs of death approaching rapidly from late Thursday onwards and have been devastated since. So yeah, I'd rate Christmas Eve as high as was possible given the circumstances, but the overall Christmas experience this year is 10/10. My girlfriend had her cerebral cortex tumor taken out. She had planned to come visit me but instead went into shock and her pacemaker was working overtime. The doctors were able to remove the tumor but with complications. She has short-term memory loss. She didn't remember me at all. Now she has memories coming back but her feeling of love has yet to come back. I miss you and love you, Julia. Take all the time you need. 3. I will be here waiting for you. Being alone and depressed. I work at an animal hospital. We just had to put down 3 dogs in an hour. One of them had a little kid who was bawling. Merry Christmas. My mum committed suicide last month. Found out my fucking father is alive and well when I thought he died years ago. Narcissistic asshole just shows up on my sister's porch. My husband had a grand mal seizure while opening presents. He's never had one before. He's in the ICU now. One of my staff got a COVID test which showed 2 stripes. I tried to calm everyone down and suggested she take the test again just to confirm. I phoned my CEO who lost his shit at me, telling me if I find another positive he's going to fire me. He started blaming people and telling people he's going to take them to court and that he's going to come in and count the COVID testing kit. For every one that is missing he's going to take it out of our salary. Thing is he got all the testing kit for free. Joke. If he comes in and say he's going to charge my staff, I'm going to try my best not to let that happen. I'm making plans to resign. It's disgusting. My in-laws. It was my son's, 8 months old, first Christmas and my wife and I hardly got to enjoy it. From now on we are doing Christmas morning by ourselves first. I have no money. My bills are past due. And I'm all alone. I spent the day cleaning both because it needs to be done and for the distraction. Just another year of hurt that doesn't feel like Christmas at all. Just attempted to leave my in-laws' house and we hit a cow, which totaled our car. Pitch black country road and a black cow. Thankfully, we are all okay. Not the cow though. Panic. Guilt. Shame. Childhood memories from 40 years ago. No matter how much I fight them, they beat me down and tarnish the day for those close to me. I knocked over the table. Dishes went flying. Gravy everywhere and a potato flew out the window. My mum leaving our normal Christmas Eve with family to have people over with her new boyfriend. But not before blowing a 12 on my sister's home breathalyzer, telling me fuck you to my face and storming out yelling see you all again never as she slammed the door. Followed by a text the next day saying how great it was to see me the night before and what a bummer she couldn't see me for longer. Luckily I have therapy already scheduled for Monday. COVID symptoms. Had to cancel plans with my mum. And call out of work on a double pay day. Realized late that I needed to wish my dad Merry Christmas and Happy Birthday. Found out my half-sister has COVID and my step-grandmother died today. I just killed what I'm pretty sure was a cockroach. It was a single cockroach. And I've never seen any others. But I've read that even one means there's a good chance of infestation. So I get to spend the day after Christmas, also known as my 21st birthday, cleaning my apartment top to bottom and trying not to panic. Edit. Also, shout out to Yankee Candle for making big heavy glass jars. It was a very effective cockroach killing tool. My wife of 7 years stole my vehicle to go on holiday with another guy. She texted me to break up with me, threw away my mother's wedding ring and is now scheduled an abortion with the other guy as she got pregnant. Really just a nice human overall. My 30-year-old younger brother who lives at home and is unvaccinated, even though his mum is lupus as fuck, and my dad is diabetic, and he himself is dangerously asthmatic. Tested positive for COVID. I drove up 350 miles and spent hundreds booking a hotel. All 17 of us to be in attendance got tested just before. He was being a lazy deadbeat piece of shit. And lo and behold, when he finally got tested, it was positive. Everything got cancelled. I spent Christmas Eve and day in a hotel room drinking wine out of a solo cup and eating Hot Pockets. My BF broke up with me directly after receiving his presents. Not even a tie. Our traumatized and hurting 7-year-old foster son, who's been in the system for 5 years, 4 years too long, having his daily meltdown. The foster care system in Montgomery County, Alabama is seriously broken and it's the children who suffer the irreversible damage because of it. I was fired on Christmas Eve. My mum passed away suffering a swell in her skull after being operated on a brain bleed 2 nights ago. I've been suffering from depression for years and it happened to hit me this week. I just couldn't smile all day. A friend who has said material gore over 30 times in the last 5 minutes. My father wanted to be a deadbeat till this year and asked to see me. Said he had too many calls and never showed up. Oh well, I guess. Not me, but my sister's car is completely shot. Costs more than the car's worth to fix. My mother has a favorite. It's not me. My mother getting mad at my father because he fell asleep watching gay porn on his phone. My dad passed away last week. I did, unfortunately. We went to my in-laws' house this morning after morning present opening with my family. help her meal cook the food. Then when it was time to go down the hill to grandma's house where everyone was starting to gather, I decided I just didn't want to go. I hate Christmas. I'm not religious. And honestly, sitting there watching everyone open presents after watching my wife get roughly $700 worth of gift cards. And I got absolutely nothing. It kinda just takes it out of you. I went home. Wife pissed. I just don't care anymore. I bought my mum a big TV and other presents. I spent a lot of dollar sign. She literally repeatedly told me how much she did not like my gifts to her. This is coming from a woman who never made Christmas special for me growing up. My sister's 7 years rescue dog attacked my 2 years English setter in my house. She refused to put him in the back room and insisted he was just playing. While I was asserting the my house my rules, he tries to attack my dog again. Pretty much ended the evening. Sister cried and left. Told her she didn't have to leave. But her dog cannot roam free in the home anymore. Also, not welcome back again. She could not understand that I will not allow my dog to feel unsafe in his own home and that her dog could bite one of us given his aggressive behavior. My mum having a fit because my brother spent Christmas with his girlfriend's family, so I had to spend all day listening to my mum say racist slurs about her and curse that she will die from the COVID vaccine. Yay, my mum is one of those. Feeling incredibly lonely the entire time being at home with my family and not being able to shake it. I know a lot of it's in my head. But I've never been the talker my sister is. Everything she does is interesting and every conversation she, somehow, relates back to herself. I've become silent and short when I talk about myself anymore. Not finding anything I do or say interesting or good enough. Cried multiple times today. And at this rate I'm just hoping my mum didn't notice.